And welcome to our December meeting. I can't believe it's here already. And we'll start with the minutes, please. Has everybody read them?
Yep.
Okay. Are there any changes, adjustments, or
Move to accept the
We'll
minutes.
accept.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, accepted. And the treasurer's report. Okay.
So I brought a few, but in the town appropriation account, we've expensed 41% of our budget. So we're at a total expense of $143,332 over the first 5 months. And included in that expense are the newsletter and copier lease commitments for the entire fiscal year. So we're a little bit under budget in reality. I mean, payroll is right on budget, obviously, and the other expenses are under budget, but I'm sure we'll be catching up. They're a small percentage of the total budget. Under grants, there are no receipts reflected under the grants, but we had discussed last month that both the formula grant and the ARPA, we got $2,288 for ARPA. We got the full $24,300 for formula. There was just a little bit of a delay in the town processing the information on the report, so that when I did the report, I didn't have that new update in it, so that it's not reflected now. It's reflected now in the town reports, early December, so you'll see it next month come through. The expenses are primarily the $3,671. It's just payroll charged to the formula grant. Under the revolving fund, we're at a positive right now, $1,404, with a fund balance of $18,472. The gift accounts include all activity of any activity and all of 6 different funds. All of them have a positive. So when you see a negative there, it doesn't indicate we have any negative balances within the total. All the expenses primarily are for the social worker, which get charged directly against the SSL grant, which is in the gift accounts. So our total gift account balance is $56,843, and our unrestricted is $34,182. Capital project still includes the $66,000. Nothing happening on that yet that I've seen.
Okay. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's nice and clean. I like that.
Move to accept.
Second. And now, Nancy, you're on.
All right. So I just wanted to bring your attention, if you haven't noticed, the beautiful paintings, not paintings, but the painted wall. So on the hallway, they
Yeah.
took down the artists, they took that down because it was all, they had done a lot of taking off of their frames, putting back up. So we had the facilities patch and repaint. And so we purchased a more like an artist's framing type of wire.
Oh,
And that should be coming in next week. Facilities will put that up, and then the artists will come back and do their thing. So
Oh, nice.
it'll look a little bit more professional. We purchased one for this hallway, and we're thinking of doing it also in this room here against the chart room wall, and having another wire of paintings, but not from Hull artists, but more like people who might want to show off any kind of talents that they might have. I know that we have a couple of residents in town who do really great photography. And so I'd love to be able to put that up and showcase what people have been doing. So that'll be coming up next. But for right now, they'll put it on this wall. We'll get that Hull artist back, and it will be a beautiful addition, as it always is, walking in the hallway and walking down the hallway to see such nice work. So that's what's being done in that. part of the building. Budget preparations are underway. I'm working on, going through everything, our prior year accomplishments, any changes in any budget that we need for next year. Hopefully meeting early January with the town accountant and going over any changes that are proposed, and we'll go from there. But it's kind of a big push for the end of the year to try to get those numbers all correct and then write up the annual report. Last thing I wanted to mention is age friendly. We're going back on again on Tuesday night. We were hoping for any changes. We have not heard anything from the select board about any changes that they might want to do to the plan. But I suspect that once we get in there, they'll tell us what they want. Then we'll make the edits and then we'll send it off to AARP. So we're excited about having this finally done. Upcoming, we have a new massage therapist who will be here on a monthly basis, and she's a licensed therapist that's been doing this for many years. So I think she's going to be a nice addition. We used to have one years and years ago, and it was a popular feature for Elder Affairs, and so we'll have that come back. Hopefully it will be just as popular. The mani-pedis are always booked. And the dental hygienist, we're still trying to get that to take off. When she was here before the pandemic, it was kind of slow, but steady, but slow. And I haven't gotten anybody yet to be interested, so we're going to try it. And we'll try it probably for another month or so. And if it doesn't look like there's any interest, we'll have to fill the spot with something else. We are also coming up in January, learn to make empanadas. So if you're interested, the Spanish teacher Laura Casso and Dan Belangus will be here on a Monday afternoon, and hopefully we'll get a lot of response to that.
Sounds good.
What kind of charge?
Oh, yeah.
Are you gonna do it too?
Oh, I'll be there.
Jeff will.
I love
Jeff
empanadas.
loves empanadas.
I was gonna
Everybody's
say, I
making
love
them.
them too.
Really?
It's gonna be low if it's anything. It's usually, I don't know what we discussed for that.
I mean, you got the materials too, so.
We have the materials?
No, so you'll have
We
to
have to buy
expense
the
that, yeah.
materials, so it's probably just going to be the cost of the materials, because that's what the teachers are charging, but have to review those notes. Community dinners, as we talked about last month, is starting back up again on January 24th. And we need to just get a little bit more detail about what our chefs are cooking and volunteers and that kind of help. But thank you to the board for bringing that back up again and getting some interest, generate some interest, so we can get a big first one back. Would be really wonderful to have. Last month, 351 individuals came in to Wilcott for outreach, programming, and activities. And more than once, because we had 892 duplicate individuals. And we also transported 44 people for a total of 145 rides for the month. So we are still making progress with getting people in the door, which is wonderful.
And Nancy, what about Rusty Scuppers coming up?
Yes, they are coming up in December, I want to say the 19th.
That's,
think it's-
that's a Monday night.
The Tuesday, then it's the 20th.
20th, I think your last notes. Yeah.
And we have on Wednesday, sorry, I didn't,
That's
going back, I forgot my other notes, but Wednesday we'll have the Bear Cove. Singers.
Broad Cove Corral.
Broad Cove Canal, yeah.
Broad Cove Corral singers, so that ought to be really nice. They were here a few years ago and
They were good.
yeah, they
yeah.
were very.
Yeah, I remember I filmed that. That was a
Yeah.
good show.
That's this Wednesday.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
And the cookie swap was fabulous. Those
Thank
cookies
you.
were so
Oh, the
good.
cookies.
Were they good?
Every single
Oh,
cookie
yes.
was so
Right.
good. Oh my
Every single cookie was
Yeah,
so
but
good.
it's hard to make a choice over which one was the best, but yeah, we got a good turnout for that.
Which one
so it was
good?
really
How many
nice.
people
It was
came?
about 40
Raspberry.
people
Oh, that's
to
good.
listen to
Tarts
the
things.
jazz ensemble from the high
Is that
school.
Michael's?
And then we
No,
had
no, it was a
Adolfo Lung,
woman.
who's
Uh-huh.
our,
Yes.
Something
so
Whitney.
it was a lovely afternoon, and Santa made a
She was
visit,
new.
so
She
that
said
was
she
good.
just,
Oh, good. Who do you?
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay. Well, thank you, Nancy. Okay, now the next thing is going to be a little update on the use of Willicott Commons. We got into that discussion last month. I took it up with Nancy. I have been in discussion with the people from Town Hall. And we are planning, Nancy was going to call a meeting of the people involved at Town Hall and us to make it very clear. It was clear to me when I spoke to the women, they had no idea of the of the covenant, that this was for seniors only. And that isn't fair. It wasn't fair to them, and it certainly wasn't fair to us. So we're gonna have to make it very clear that we can't do it. And I dragged out the covenant and, everybody's got a copy of it and they should know. I guess we get to the philosophical. I mean, if it's for something like flu shots or, and cornhole, obviously there's you do what you have to do, the medical stuff. I mean, nobody would argue with that. But for that and tea and cookies, I just, because it's not convenient for their people to be there, was just not right. You had to cut out the afternoon activity, didn't you? Yeah.
Well, the problem is, as we cut these out, and we've cut out a bunch, especially in November, because they took over the dining room.
Yeah.
I mean, they took over the chart room. We're losing people.
Right.
People come and they can't do what they came for, and they'll do that maybe twice,
Yep.
and you never see them again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
now, I don't know, do you push back on these people to say, I've got another thing, another event going on while you're trying to set up?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Always tell them that we've got other things. We block out the room now. Now we have it very clear that the time is blocked out so that they can't come in. It's just the bigger things like the, which has been going on for years, which is in the November. November is just a tough month. But I think we have made improvements with at least the Board of Selectmen, the Select Board, when they come in. That used to be something they'd come in extra early because it was convenient for facilities. And that I think has since been corrected. It's just the bigger ones in November, which is the board appreciation and the town hall longevity appreciation for all the employees. Those are the two dates, the 2 days before Thanksgiving, that Monday and Tuesday. That is something that the town feels very strongly, and it's such a big deal that they need hours to do it, not just because it's convenient for facilities, which we could correct. It's because it's really takes a lot, and they have to set up and they have to get the food and everything. So that's the thing that I don't really, they push back on me more than any of the other ones. So.
Okay, I'm going to, first of all, they have come here a couple other times, but it hasn't been forever. We haven't had the building forever. And then we, in the beginning, as things were getting rolling, we didn't have it didn't interfere, and that was all right. And then when it started to interfere, they owned it, and they don't own it, in my mind, which I don't know.
You're right. They don't.
And we have a beautiful facility where they can go, and it's called the Lightkeeper's Cottage. And they used to do things there. And I really think that if we continue with programming and we have anything, we ought to be able to do it. And I know people go around saying, oh, only want to do, it's this for 15 people to do cornhole, and we're having this and we're having that. I don't know what the turnout was to the volunteers. I did not go this year.
I was gonna say, how many came to the volunteer thing?
I was
Well,
away.
Jim and I were there, right?
We were,
We both think it should not start at 6 o'clock.
right.
You come down here for 6 o'clock for coffee and cookies. Where's the wine? It was-
Nobody's had dinner yet.
Nobody's had
Right,
dinner.
it's
It's
an
ridiculous.
awkward-
At least should start at 7. It's a very awkward time. A lot of people come in. There were fewer people here than there were last year, which is, to my knowledge, the first year they ever did it.
Yeah.
I was never invited before
I was gonna
that.
say, this thing hasn't been going
And,
on for
Well,
years.
they keep saying it and it's just.
It was not
true.
well
Well,
attended.
Yeah, I think the
Probably a
board thinks-
third of the volunteers in town were there at the most.
I also
Third of the
think
volunteers.
Thanksgiving week's a horrible week to
Yeah.
have it. I actually headed out of town that.
Why do they have to have it Thanksgiving week?
Because they do. It's one of those things.
Then go have it up at the Lake Housekeepers.
That's exactly my
It
point.
would have been big enough for that crew.
No.
It would have.
People who showed, it would have been.
Yeah.
It
Because
was lovely, but it was,
Kind of not
in my mind,
necessary.
it's a ridiculous time to have it.
And they do it for convenience for the workers, for the employees, but they don't work, and they work till 6 and then it's convenient, they can come right over, but it interferes with our afternoon and I'm sorry, you don't have dessert at 6 o'clock before you've had your dinner and a glass of wine, for God's sake.
It's true, that is true.
But anyway, I hope it won't, and when I was speaking, she said, well, it's gonna be that way forever. We get those two, that before Thanksgiving, they've always had it, and they haven't. Last year was the first
Yeah,
year.
last year was the first year.
Well, the employee recognition was longer. I think the board was.
The employee recognition they've done for a while.
Yes, but it hasn't always been here.
Oh,
Haven't
it's
they
been
done
here
it at the high school and?
Yes.
for- I think at least
Right.
4 years it's been here, 3 or 4. The employee recognition, from what I recall. I don't know where it was before we moved into this place.
Well, it was somewhere before because they did do it. And, okay, so
What's their mindset, now that they've seen the codicil?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same question.
nobody's gotten back to me on that.
Yeah,
I just, they need to see it, they need to have it, because the 2 women who were involved in it directly are
Right.
new and didn't have, so
But I mean, have they changed their ways now? that they've seen it?
no, they're waiting till, I hope they're not waiting till next Thanksgiving, which is why I am asking that the meeting be held soon.
Well, I mean, I think, my overall concern is they want to take the building.
And they do.
I call it Sawyer Town Hall. So, sooner or later, you may lose your office because the head man may decide he wants it. And then you'll also be required to walk his dog. So,
The dog died.
Died.
oh, he did?
Yes.
Never mind.
That's not
No,
nice.
it's just an attitude that they feel,
Yeah,
I don't know. And I'm
It's us
willing to fight
against
it,
them,
but we need a response from them to say, tough, this is what we're gonna do.
yeah.
And they're not willing to pay overtime for facilities that come in after the center's closed or later in the day.
so do it somewhere else where they,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, where it's empty.
Yeah, like, now, as far as the lighthouse keepers, that's the Historical Society now
Yes.
is in there, and they charge pretty heavily. Now, I get in the VFW, we meet in there, but because we built the place years ago. So we go in there for free and it's not a problem.
Well, they've always had to pay, but
Yeah.
I thought,
No, the
Political
prices
things.
jumped way up. I think it used to be $50,
Sure
now
they
it's
wouldn't charge the
$250.
town, though.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean, they
sure
won't
what they
charge
would
the
do.
town.
they won't charge the
Yeah.
town.
I can't talk.
And I'm sure at the.
How many
town,
people
it's
is the
maybe-
max on that?
As far as seating,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think 100.
I think
about
it's like.
I think that's
80
stretching it,
seated
100
and
is stretching
120.
it. I'd say 70.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've been to weddings there, at least 80, and, with the round tables.
so
And the-
space isn't a problem then, because we don't have that many, they don't have that many in the volunteer thing or the employee thing. They don't have over 80 people.
I wouldn't think so.
Hmm.
And they have, a great facility. So, yeah, okay. So I'm willing to take this certainly further, and we will have this meeting, and we'll see where we
Can
go.
we have Chris Senior, or if it's not him, if it's his assistant, have them attend one of our board
I
meetings?
actually have brought it up to Chris after the last time, and he said he's happy to talk to the board.
Oh,
So
wait. I'm sorry, he hasn't been here in 3 years and I
mean, he could do Zoom since we're gonna continue to do it.
Right, so just get me a date and I can set it up with him and just
Okay.
to talk with that, so when there's enough of you who wanna be in attendance.
okay,
And again, I don't think it's the events as much as it is the setup. The setup
Yeah.
is what shuts everything down here. And if they're willing to pay overtime for facilities to come do it later. I mean, they paid a fortune when we used to have the town meetings at the music circus, that was a fortune. Over 50 grand each time they did it.
Ouch.
Yeah, so the money's there.
You're saying something that's very true. The town
Pardon me?
has money.
Yeah,
Not a poor town.
that's right.
We have money.
The thing to ask them about is when they have these events that are, towards the end of the day, they seem to always have the ability for facilities to be able to come in and clean up and close up, which they told us they never had that ability when we wanted to do senior events after 6 p.m.
Right.
So, I think it's probably time for us, I think, in calendar 2023 to perhaps figure out if there are events that maybe we want to do starting in the spring and the summer that are, maybe around that 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. timeframe that would, engage more people to come to the center. And maybe it's a bocce tournament at after hours rather than in the afternoons, and find out what his commitment is to allow us to open where we have facilities people there, rather than just that one night that the town hall's open till 7. So we've always wanted to have, events at the senior center for things after 4 p.m., but we were never allowed to originally because we didn't have someone from facilities that would come and clean up and close up. Then it was up to the staff, and then it just dwindled from there. So if we're going to talk to them about the facility, we may want to roll that into it.
I agree.
It's always been my understanding, Paul, that after hours, they've never said that we couldn't have anything after hours. It was more the staffing. It wasn't so much because we do our own setup and cleanup of events. We never ask, unless it's a huge event that mostly it's launch now to help us do that. So it's very rarely facilities to actually set up, but on occasion we do. But if we had an after hours thing that was not a big, huge thing that we needed any setup, we could certainly do that. It's just as far as enough staffing in order to do that, and then flexing schedules and all that kind of stuff. So
Okay, so that's we just need clarification then, if that's the case, because if we want to hold, bocce on Tuesday nights or say Thursday nights from 6 to 8 p.m., you're saying we could do that as long as someone from the staff is here to lock up? Okay.
Okay.
Well, don't
That's
use
good. I'm glad
bocce
of
because
that.
bocce's outdoors and we're not gonna play in the dark.
Well, in the summertime, it's much lighter. I'm just trying to think of some social events that'll help get people in here.
And I think you're right. I think there's, especially spring and summer, a lot of seniors would like to do things early in the evening.
Yeah.
A cookout would be fun for dinner, and that type of thing. But I agree with Paul. I was always under the understanding that it was because that we were restricted because there wasn't a staff member here.
right, staff member, not facilities, staff.
Right.
Yeah, it used to be facilities.
Facility, right. It used to be facility.
Before it was staff. So if he changed it to staff, that's great. We should just get some clarification on it. That's all.
And if it's a matter, it's a matter of paying the staff, is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and we only need one person?
Right.
So
Probably, yeah.
if we only need
Depends
one,
on what it is. If it's a big, like a cookout or something, we need more. If it's a bocce or, something that's just a one thing, it's not a big deal to have just one person.
okay,
Well, we've had cookouts, I mean, bocce cookouts. And I didn't think we had any, oh yeah, we had Diane, but we pretty much handled that ourselves. The grill's outside and we used the kitchen.
Right.
Worked out pretty well. I thought it was seamless.
Yeah, but you're a unique group
Yeah.
who already knew what they wanted. We got you guys Chinese food one
Yeah.
time, and another time you guys brought your own stuff pretty much,
Yeah.
so you handled yourself. If we're putting on a program for people, we usually don't say, hey, guys, enjoy, and we come in and just say, hi, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a different program. It would be a
That, I
different
remember that
event.
Chinese food. That was pretty good.
Hey.
I second that he is a unique group.
Yeah,
But I think with the cancellations, you're not gonna have to worry about cornhole anymore. So,
what I wanted to ask you, the community dinner that we're putting on, that's a Tuesday night.
Mhm.
So that's,
that'll shut it down.
I'm sorry,
That'll shut it down, not the event, but the setup for the event.
how many people how many tables do you usually get?
Oh, we don't, no, we could, because you guys have been talking about doing it down this end.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can certainly keep you guys here while we set up 10 tables or
In the
8
other-
tables.
In the other room?
Mm.
Yeah,
Kitchen area.
yeah, that's what I thought. Okay,
And we've been able to work around the selectmen when they set up.
Right,
I
so
mean,
it's-
we need distance. We don't need a whole lot of width.
Is there any other comment on that? What do you feel? I think maybe when we have this meeting, let everybody know and we can all show up and just stare at them.
I think we've got to have an agenda,
Oh, yeah,
a very dispute, because he's a sweet talker, so he'll just keep going.
Yeah.
And you won't know it, but you lost it.
yeah.
So you've got to be very specific.
Yeah.
And you have to look him straight in the face and
Yeah.
say, do you agree to that?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
And I think we also have to put this in the minutes every year,
Yes.
Yeah.
just to remind people.
I also think that it would be very nice if both of them came. The assistant and.
Oh, of
In
course.
the minutes, can we also put that paragraph that gives us the rights?
Yeah, that's what Ellen is saying. She's,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
right.
attached
We should do
to
that
the
every
minutes.
year, I think, in the first meeting of the year.
Review it and approve it.
Jim, what do you think? You're sitting there looking very wise and
Will do.
thoughtful.
Not being an old-time townie, I'm not used to these internecine political movements, but it certainly sounds like it's something that very typically happens, that something pops up like this and becomes attractive, and then
Yeah.
everybody wants to make use of it, and understandably so, but it was built for a specific purpose, and it has been clearly stated. There should be no argument about it. It seems very clear that the purpose is for this, and that's what the priority should be.
They're also still want to just tear down the town hall and do a new town hall. That's a big agenda. And so I think the more they can, you know, like, oh, the town hall's falling down and we can't do things there. And they're like trying to shift, I agree, use this space more. And what's going to happen when they do tear down the town hall? You know, like we had this, they threw out the preliminary, whatever they were called, the
Plans.
models.
Yeah, they were gonna put a trailer up.
That they wanted to come in
Yeah,
the
that
parking lot.
abomination.
They would just run in and out. You
Put
don't need
trailers.
just a little, not to worry. I mean,
They're coming back.
Yeah.
But, because I, you know, I think if we're gonna spend a ton of money, it should be spent on schools. I don't know why we're even worried about town hall. They don't even let you in there half the time.
I was just gonna say, you can't
They're
even
doing
get in
everything
there.
online.
And I
um,
don't understand that at
So,
all.
but
they
they have both agendas going.
Yeah.
So, I just think it's all behind the scenes work is that they're, you know, shifting people's focus to Wilcott and so they can use it for
I agree.
various things.
I agree.
And then when they knock down the town hall and we're all
Town hall
spending
Sawyer.
$1 bazillion
Yeah.
to build a new town hall.
And it will take 5 years.
Yeah.
If-
So it's-
I'm even questioning whether we're gonna get one.
No, I can't see it.
Oh, they think they are,
Yeah, of course they do.
but yeah,
I don't know.
I don't even know how they think they can fund all this. And they said, yes, there's another school renovation coming.
Well,
Which they
that's-
did one when our kids went into ninth grade.
Right.
That was
Yep.
just nonsense. I couldn't believe when
Public
it
safety
came out
wants
the
to
other
do it
side,
too.
it was.
Yeah.
They want a new fire
They put a
department, new
big
police
gym on
department.
and a small cafeteria and did nothing really except paint the walls and put some fresh tiles that are now all popping up. That was the big renovation. So that's another thing's coming. They're talking about knocking the school down, the middle high school.
The high school?
The middle high
Middle
school.
high
I
school.
said, where do you think you're gonna put it? Like.
And why
well,
would you?
rebuild it, and what are you
do?
gonna do with the kids in the meantime?
And why would you?
It's a great place for a school.
They're gonna,
I
yeah, they're
don't
gonna,
know. I mean, it just boggles my mind. I don't know who they think is gonna pay for this.
What is
Yeah.
it, Bob?
they're gonna put the new school directly behind the old school. And then,
How?
tear down the old school.
Why?
Put in fields.
They had the state come in and basically go through the whole school to see what the issues were, and they claim it is in ill repair. I don't understand how
Well,
that
because
could
they
be.
didn't
Unsalvageable.
hear anything.
I mean, last I checked, it was made out of cement, and you just got to replace the roof, the windows, and the heating and air conditioning. I don't know why you have to tear down the whole building, but that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that'll be in front of us at some point, I would believe. But you've got the town hall, the new school, and the state, by the way, has a range based on a number of criterias where they'll only reimburse you up as low as 30% up to, I think, 70 or 80%. So it's not guaranteed they pay the whole 80%.
Oh, for us, they wouldn't.
It wouldn't for us.
And overrides, that's coming.
Mhm.
Well, don't
We haven't
tear
had
down,
one in a long time.
build a new school, but don't tear down the old one. We may need it.
Good meeting. Yeah, they can have all the meetings they want there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Play bocce up there.
Why are the selectmen's meetings here now? Is it because of
I
the
was gonna ask the
audio
same
But
system? or-
meeting room is a problem, their meeting room, and they can't do the owl there, can they?
It's
Isn't
it's the audio system. It's
Well, nobody comes,
No.
basically.
Is the audio system available in the schools?
so the only time they ever had it at the school was if you remember, they had when they wanted to change the teachers union health plan, they had it at the library at the high school because that was the only place they could televise it at the time. The Wilcott was not available at the time. And they tried to get as many people in that library area as they could, and they couldn't do it very well, but that's where they had it. Because that was the only place where the audio visual system was set up to be on TV. But now, our facility has the best ability to broadcast outside of the selectman's office and town hall. I believe the two places that can broadcast without a major issue.
The town hall can? Did you say that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, yeah, I don't know why they don't do it from there anymore.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just don't-
up in the town manager's office now, it's all rearranged as far as office space, really. Before it was that big table with all different people could, for the select board. But now they've got another person that Justin shared, the
No, they have an assistant.
communication specialist, yeah, he's also on a
office.
desk there. So it seems like it's more not geared towards a
Yeah,
meeting.
they've been broadcasting from home, most of them, I think, and then when they all get together in person, it's been at the Wilcott, I think, so I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know what
There you go.
their plan is, but
They like it here, which is a good question.
Well, that's a very good, a new town hall right there. They're broadcasting from home.
Right.
Yeah, and everything can theoretically be done online now, even though their IT hopefully is now coming into the 22nd century or whatever we're in, but
So where else is the setup? Is there another place that has a setup that's equal to this?
to broadcast live, well, you'd have to ask Don Royne, but the only two places I know of is here and the high school library area where where 143 TV is located. That's the only,
Little-
yeah, nobody else, I believe, is, when they go to the high school for town hall meeting, I think that's 100% 143 TV goes with their equipment and they broadcast that. I don't know how if they're gonna attempt to do a Zoom or not, but there's obviously there's a town meeting tonight at 7 PM at the high school, so
See what they're
see what's there, yeah, but. it
The
shouldn't-
school,
And don't they use the owl over in the library?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
library has.
I
an
know they
owl.
have meetings there, so I believe it. Oh,
and the school committee must meet in the library, at the high school. They televise.
Yeah, Zoom, so the owl and that's Zoom, so those can be done just about anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you want to do the broadcasting on television live, then it's here and the school and wherever he could take his equipment, like for the town meeting, to the gym or something like that. But where it's permanently set up is here in this school library, I believe, the only two. I don't think it's permanently set up in the regular library.
Well, he's done it in the school auditorium as well. I don't know
Probably-
whether he,
that's
that was a
portable.
special.
Yeah, the portable equipment is what they use.
Yeah,
Yeah. They can bring portable equipment anywhere.
yeah.
But if you're asking about a place where the selectmen could meet all the time, it's this, and I believe the high school library where 143 TV is located. I think those are the two places where it's permanently set up.
What about at the library, that room on the side in the evenings, that big
Yeah,
room where they have the authors come and when they did that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's, well,
That's limited for space too.
Well, not for a selectmen's meeting, I don't.
No, well, I mean, it
Yeah.
depends how many, no, you're right. We could, because I've been filming over there as well.
Yeah,
And that's probably 50 people anyway.
Oh,
in
at
that room.
least.
Yeah.
I would think so. I mean, there are options. It's not as though, so.
yeah, there's options. This is the path of least resistance for them.
That's right.
No, and it's
That's
the
right.
nicest,
And we have been the least resistance.
Yeah.
well, we weren't the least resistant when this place was being built. We had to go to the Attorney General twice.
That's right.
I mean, and we won. And the second time, they got thrown out with prejudice.
I
Yeah,
think you need to bring that attorney with you,
so,
Joel Carpenter.
What were the issues then?
Oh, was it?
It'd be-
Joel?
oh, they weren't gonna let it, they weren't, let's see. The
19
issues then, a group of people, they didn't like what was happening over here. We weren't being, they wanted to take control of how it was being built. And this is before they had possession. Wasn't that it?
Yep.
Yep. And they didn't, they wanted their people in here making, while Social Service League paid for it. And they said, no, no, no. And so they took them to court. The town took social service and they went and they said, go away. Everything they've done is legal and is okay. There was a lot to do with the land and the parking lot, and that's town, it's not town property. That's another thing they don't understand. Parking lot doesn't belong to this group.
Right.
We have a nice cordial arrangement with
You
this.
don't want to screw
group.
that up.
And so, that was the first time. And then the second time, it was more the same use of the place. And that it had to be a community center and it had to be this and it had to, and all this kind of stuff. And the court attorney general said, absolutely not. Threw them out of court with prejudice. I mean, that's a big deal. And told them to leave and not come back. And
Well, see, it's all different people now over there.
Right.
Yeah. So,
So that's why I think it needs to be established.
Yeah.
We have to have a meeting, sit down and establish it.
yeah,
And that's it. And, I don't think you have to get too heavy into it. It's just they have to understand it and understand where we're going.
Yeah.
And I think that takes care of it. I am happy to hear though about the summertime because I would like to see more go on in the summer than does go on.
yeah, because
And early evening is lovely here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gorgeous here. Yeah,
up until 8:30 or so, it's
Yeah.
no bugs. I'm not aware of bugs. Are you?
No.
Outside?
we've got a huge bee's nest outside.
Oh, good.
It's huge.
Well, it's cold enough.
Well, I don't know how it is now. I haven't been out there, but all summer long, it
Look at
keeps
it,
getting
yeah.
bigger and bigger and bigger.
We should look
Are
at
they-
it because
And
Are
the
there
wasps,
friends selling honey?
Well,
We got our hives up top.
now's the time. They can knock
Yeah,
it down
yeah.
right now, so.
Have they ever talked to you about that? I know you
No.
complained about the
No, they
bee's
never,
nest.
yeah, I'll bring that up to them again if they haven't, maybe they, I
maybe
haven't
it's
looked
gone, I
at it,
don't
maybe
know,
they did
yeah.
do it, yeah.
But it was getting pretty big.
It was getting very big.
Yeah. Luckily, they never bothered us. But
Because they
I
have
think-
plenty to
Yeah.
eat around, so.
I wonder if there's anyone in town that has a couple of hives that
I
they
think
would
the
like to
town-
bring here.
Yeah, there are a couple of guys that would.
well, these are hornets, though. I don't know that they want
These
those.
are-
Yeah, they want honeybees. These
Yeah.
aren't honeybees.
Yeah,
Yeah, these are the mean ones.
Yeah.
One of them.
We had one in a tree at our house and we had to call, you couldn't let us knock it down. We had to call a bee removal man in Norwell, and he came and carefully took it away, and he was happy, I was happy.
But we're staring up. We got those heavy balls in our hands.
Yeah.
and we're staring up at that nest.
So. Okay, so that's the update, and I'll let you all know when this grand meeting is going to happen. And we'll see if we can,
Eleanor just suggested that perhaps Joel Carpenter would be a good person to attend that meeting if he were willing to do that, as the attorney throughout
He
that
was the
whole
attorney,
process.
yes, he was.
So I don't know if you want to consider inviting him to that meeting or.
Well, yeah, we'd have to take it with kid gloves because they left with a very bitter taste
Okay.
in their mouth,
Yeah.
and I don't
That
blame
might be
them.
pushing
Yeah,
too hard.
yeah.
Maybe the second
That's
time.
unfortunate.
Although they
Second.
don't know that.
What?
They don't know that.
Yeah, because
But
only
the-
people.
no, the
yeah.
carpenters. I
Well, the
think you mean
carpenters know.
Maria.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No, they're the ones that are.
yeah,
Really.
But he would do that for us, I'm sure.
I do the first meeting and see where. we
Yeah,
come with it.
see if we
And
need
then
to
if
make
it's
it.
necessary,
Mhm.
do it.
okay. Is there anything else? I'm going to talk with Liza after this meeting about the community dinner. And I'll put some specifics together. Tell me the people from here who said that they would help.
I do.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, the
No, the
community
dinner.
dinner at night,
Oh,
Tuesday night, 5:00,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can help. What's the date?
24th.
24th.
Oh, isn't there a format from when we used to do it?
Yeah,
yeah, it was Liza.
because we don't have the high school.
We don't have,
Oh.
the high school said they didn't want to do it anymore.
Oh, they don't want to participate?
Yeah,
It's unfortunate.
It was one of those, it was pre-pandemic when it was a little bit, it was the National Honor Society and that, the teacher there. And so it was too much for her to continue to do that.
I love it. These people get paid to do these things. After hours.
But they can't do it.
okay, how many people usually come to that, about 40?
Yeah, that's what we were getting.
We've had more like 60 at some of them,
Oh.
but that was unusual. But
Yeah, I don't know how many you're gonna get in January, and also it's weather dependent, so I'm gonna have to talk to you and Dan about a menu,
Who wants to come?
something that could be made and frozen if there's snow and then pulled out at another time. I don't know. Okay, does anybody else have anything else on their mind about functioning here at the senior center? Any complaints? Have you heard any complaints?
I think the only thing I have, and Nancy's addressed it a couple of times, but did they solve the heating situation?
What do you
No.
think?
How does it feel?
Look at us.
They say that they're working with the heating company, they're getting,
They've
waiting
been
for
saying that
parts.
for months.
It's like the hornet's nest.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because we have our art upstairs early in the morning, well, 9 o'clock, and it's cold. And there's a breeze always blowing. And we were trying to figure out how to shut it off.
Yeah.
Because
We
it's,
could probably, I don't know, because this one won't allow us to go any over 70, even though it doesn't even reach 70, but you can turn on the fan, turn off the fan, so maybe it's, I'll look at it.
yeah, I'll look at it, but. I
Bring
think
your
it's-
old socks and stuff them in there.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. Well, actually, we're not gonna meet again until February, so,
Oh, okay, so hopefully by then it will be fixed.
yeah, but.
Yeah. We have a new instructor for the strength and balance.
Oh,
Oh, good.
Oh, yes. How
Is it
did that work
Karen?
out?
Good. No, we have she's a physical therapy assistant
Oh,
from
nice.
a young woman. Yeah, she seemed
Cohasset.
good and she came and watched when Karen was leading it. And then she talked about what we wanted and,
Nice.
first week was good. We had about 10 there last week, more than I thought we would. So
And when does that help? Because
it's 11 to 12 on Tuesdays.
And what's her commitment? Is it forever or, I mean,
Well,
right
for
now?
long- Right now, it's for however long that we want her, so.
Great. I spoke with her up there before she had come. I couldn't come on Tuesday,
Yeah.
but she was very excited about it.
Yeah.
She said, oh, what a group. It's a hoot. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have so much fun.
making fun of the old people.
No, she wasn't.
No.
She was
No, I think
excited
it's very
about it.
valuable.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. She was good.
It's very valuable.
any updates on the website, Nance?
We're gonna die.
It's like we've moved one step forward and 3 steps back because it's just all these, as soon as they give Richie the permissions, he can go in and he can edit stuff that we need edited, and then he puts it aside and does his other work, and he goes back to it 2 days later and the permissions are all back again, locked. So we've made some progress, but we are not there yet because
This
it's
is
in back.
stunningly slow. It's really.
But we expected that. I don't think it's this slow, but,
When Jim and I researched this and we talked to some
Yes.
other vendors, we could have had a website up in 2 weeks from
Yep.
the time that we talked to her.
I remember.
And I think it's because what they're doing is because it's, they kind of created it and then had us put the content in it. And that's the hard part because Richie's in charge of putting the content in it. So it's also amidst all his other duties. And then to add insult to injury, he gets in there and he gets blocked out. And then we've got to wait for somebody to come in and like Megan, because Megan's the one who deals with the, the website
Website people.
manager, and then she has to get it unlocked for him, and then he can go in and do something, and then he'll do only so much until he's got other stuff to do, and then it's the same cycle. So that's the thing. It's not somebody else doing it for us, a website manager who's just doing everything. Okay, this is what you want. Let's just load it all. It's just the way that they set it up
Which is,
for no cost to us. So that's,
well,
you get what you pay for, I guess.
I'm just feeling the cold. I can't believe how cold it is. And
I'm here too.
this is
I
crazy.
had 2 sweaters on.
Yeah, I mean, how can you have old folks come in here for an event when they freeze to death? This is crazy.
Beth, is it cold in the cafeteria?
No, it was hot over there.
Oh,
They're roasting marshmallows on the stove. Oh, okay, so it goes. Okay, we will see you in January, and then hopefully everybody will come to the dinner.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd
And
like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
second. All in favor?
Hi.
Yay.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas,
Okay,
Happy New Year,
Christmas,
Happy Holidays.
everyone.
Merry Christmas, everyone. God bless.